What's up, guys? Welcome to the Fomo Factory. I want to talk about altcoins. What do I want to talk about? Usually, I prepare the videos a little bit. Being here, sitting here, fully ADHD mode, very convinced. Like, guys, don't buy altcoins. Now, today, I want to take a look at some charts that I usually do not take a look at, or some metrics, or some things. So, I don't know if you like it, like the video, subscribe to the channel. That had a delay, I think. Doesn't matter. So let's check it out. What I find interesting, this is the total 3, the altcoin market. And the altcoin market is doing something very similar to the last cycle. As you follow the channel, you may know that we here don't really follow news. Because the news eventually, whatever the hell the news is, we will see it in the charts. So therefore, I always like to take a look at the charts, right? Crypto is super cyclical. I'm not going to repeat myself over and over again, but watch a couple of the last videos. You know exactly what I mean. That's the cool thing. We're talking about a slightly longer time frame, not about trading, but investing. So these videos are not that time sensitive as well. So if you feel like, hey, I see a video from last week that I missed, it's still just as relevant. But in this case, about the altcoin market. Now, about the altcoin market, first thing I would like to say, I'm not bearish. I think that the altcoin market could hit around $3 trillion market cap at the top of the next bull run. 3 trillion, right? We are now sitting at 300 billion. That's a 10x from here. This chart, however, includes stables, right? Stables don't do a 10x. So overall, altcoins can do way more than just that 10x. But before we get there, is there a better entry for us? What's interesting is that this chart here is the net liquidity. And you can just see that the liquidity in the overall market is going down quite hard. Here in 2020, the Fed printed how many $1 trillion? 6, something like that. And that really caused us to get out of this crash, the COVID crash right here, to spike up quite hard. We are not that screwed yet right now. And I don't think that the Fed is just going to say like, hey, print, take our money, get rich. That's not really what's happening right now. The altcoin market is really following the liquidity, though. The liquidity is low, and you can see that the altcoin market is slowly but still steady going down. So that's quite interesting. Now, what if you follow the channel, you know that everything that I talk about is based on the 4-year cycle. Why? Because the 4-year cycle is like scary intact. Like it is so far to the day of today playing out like perfect. And therefore there's no good reason for me to believe that now that's going to be different for some reason. One thing that I find quite interesting, and I want to show you later in the video how hard altcoins are losing from Bitcoin and why buying altcoins so far has been super stupid. And of course, we can still, stupid, it didn't work out. I don't want to call you stupid if you did, of course, but it's not a good idea. And again, disclaimer, yeah, there are exceptions. Casper Injective, Nakamoto Games, but there are millions of altcoins out there. There are like 3 million on the Binance Smart Chain alone, right? Yeah, you cannot give me from the top of your head, like more than 20 exceptions maybe, right? And yeah, out of the couple of million, that's of course not a great ratio. So if you want to pick the exceptions, go ahead. I rather don't. But about the 4-year cycle, what's quite interesting is it's now October. If we look where the altcoin market is now, right? We are sitting quite low. And matter of fact, the altcoin market just needs to take a hit of like 10%, 9% to get back to the lows, right? So we are sitting quite low. Now, 4 years ago, October 2019, let's go back a little bit and see where we were back then. And again, I want to say, disclaimer, looking back at this cycle is not going to predict what's going to happen this time, okay? But so far, we are doing here what we did here, right? The price movements might be bigger or smaller, and it could differ per a month or something. But overall, the direction and the period are scarily intact. Like that's also what you see with Bitcoin, right? Like we had our bottom. First half of the pre-halving year, we went up, and now we're going down. What happened here in 2019? We had the bottom, same period. First half of the pre-halving year, we go up. Second half, coming from July, we go down. If you look at 2015, we have our bottom. First half of the year, we go up. Second half of the year, we go down. The cycle tops end of 2013, end of 2017, end of 2021. So far, like, there are so many things that I can show you that shows that the 4-year cycle is really a thing. And a lot of people, they say like, well, yeah, if it's really that's predictable, then everybody would be rich. Yes, if everybody tries to trade it that way, yeah. But the thing is that people don't do that. They get emotional because they don't look at this time frame. They put it on a daily time frame or a 2-hour time frame, and they be like, okay, let's look at what Bitcoin is doing at a 2-hour time frame. Fuck, it's going down all the way. Let's sell, right? If you are an investor, I only look at the weekly and the monthly. Basically, I never touch the daily. Basically, almost never. So. Make sure to have a long-term vision if you are an investor. These short-term visions are not relevant, okay? So, but the 4-year cycle, a lot of things super intact. Now, if I look at the total 3, the altcoin market, so everything in crypto except for Bitcoin and Ethereum, okay? So altcoins and stables. Now, October 2019, what did we do back then? Let's go there. October 2019. Well, let me draw a line. Let me somewhere here, right? Depends on where in October. This is where we are right now in 2023. Again, what happened here doesn't have to happen here, okay? But again, so far, everything that happened here did happen here, basically. That's the funny thing. Now, what's interesting is we bottomed after this, the top, we had the bear market, and we bottomed in December 2018. Over here, we had the bottom, okay? Where did we bottom this time? December 2022. Exactly 4 years later. So also quite on track, okay? After the bottom, we went up. Quite decent, like nothing crazy, but we went up quite 40%, I think, 42%. So we went up. What happened here after the bottom? We went up way more. But why? Because we fell harder in first instance as well. We came down here 92%. Okay, now we only came down 74%. If we would have fell 92%, we would have been here. So then, of course, the bounce is harder as well, right? We did not have a lot to recover because altcoins didn't really took a big hit this bear market. This bear market, when it comes to the prices, also for Bitcoin, has been the best bear market so far. People always talk about, oh, you survived the worst bear market. This is the best, by far, best. It just feels very bad because it's all taking very long. But then again, last bear market, we also bottomed in December 2018, and we were at that same level in March 2020. Okay, that would mean that we could be at the same level in March 2024 that we are today. That's 6 months from now, basically. That's still going sideways for half a year. Yeah, that feels draining, but that's exactly what happened last time. But we had these bigger bounces, so it felt less sideways. Overall, it was sideways. We were here and we were here again. And what happened in the meantime, whatever. But we ended up at the same level. Anyway, we are here. Sorry. We are here. Okay, so no. We are here. So what happened here? After October, we came down a little bit. We touched this trend line right here, this trend line, this diagonal trend line. And we went up. Okay? We went up again in February, give or take. So let's just draw how it could play out. Right, so what happened here is we fell to this trend line. And then we went up from December till February, give or take. Right, so this is what happened from December till, it's a fucked up line, Feb. This is what happened last cycle. What happened after that? After that, February, we had a big ass crash. Now, a lot of people, of course, they will tell you, yeah, but that was a black swan. Okay, doesn't mean we cannot get a black swan this time. Maybe we don't get a black swan. Maybe we will do this because of a recession. Maybe we will, I don't know, because of the SEC suing everybody again. Whatever the reason is, it's always happening, right? So let go of the reason this time. Yeah, this time is going to be different because this time is going to be different. So far, every time is the same, and it all has a certain reason why it's going to do that. Sorry for the noise in the background, by the way. They are, I don't know what they're doing. Governance, doing cleaning shit. Anyway, what happened back then, their crypto crashed, including Bitcoin, so therefore I say crypto, from February until March 2020. And it had a big crash, right? From that point, it went down in a couple of weeks, 66%. Right? So, could it go down 66% from there? Yeah, it could, of course. Like, that will take the altcoin market like very low, very low. Like I said, every move here was bigger, as there was, like you can see right here, way less liquidity in the market, right? Way less liquidity. So the moves are bigger. Here, there's more liquidity. It could still go down, but I don't think it's going to go all the way down there, right? So I don't think we're going to fall like with 66%. But we definitely broke this trend line right here. So what could happen is that from February until kind of like March or so, I suck at lines today. We will fall, maybe here, something like that, right? Could happen. And then we could finally pump into the halving and continue our way up. That's what's likely to happen. And I know it's like, it's stupid, right? You think to yourself like, dude, you're just drawing some crooked ass trend lines over here based on what happened right here and call yourself a crypto expert. Well, I'm not. I'm just a stupid Dutch guy with a camera who has nothing better to do. That's what I am. But that so far worked for me. Okay. Therefore, I said like, hey guys, wait, don't buy altcoins yet. It kind of sucks. And until the day of today, a lot of coins are sitting at their lows. Okay. So far that's paid off. Again, I'm not saying this will happen, but with the altcoin market, we do not have a lot of history. With Bitcoin, we do. And with Bitcoin, we can basically look at every cycle and everything is playing out the exact same fucking way. Okay? So when it fell here 60%, it could fall 30% over here. It could definitely happen, right? Good. 40 maybe, right? On your altcoins, it's more because, again, this includes stable coins, right? But it could fall less. But it could still fall. Now, why am I then still saying like, hey guys, don't buy altcoins? Because who cares about a 40% quick drop if it recovers again? Like, you can time the bottom anyway. So what does it matter, right? Just take a temporary 40% loss. Well, when a lot of altcoins here died, a lot of altcoins never restored from this. Why? Because this lasted for like 3 weeks. Okay, we had a fake out, looked like we were getting up again, another fake out, and here we were struggling again a little bit. And a lot of projects there thought like, fuck this shit, I'm out. Right? They go away, don't have the funds to pay their team anymore. A lot of projects died. If you now dollar cost in altcoins, that's nice, but you do not know if you will dollar cost in one of these altcoins that will die. Although you might think like, hey, yeah, but my altcoin is the best altcoin. That's what people thought over here as well. So, yeah. Two, it quite makes a difference, right? Let's say we go to this $3 trillion market cap from the point where we are right now to to here, the down line, right? 760% gain. But what if we do that from here? It's 1,050% gain. At the end of the day, it makes a huge difference on your portfolio. Huge, like really huge. To put that in a better perspective, if you look at, I don't know, man. Fuck it, doesn't matter. Cardano, right? If you look at Cardano, again, let's say it goes back to its all-time high. I'm not saying it will, but it's a measurement, right? From this point, you go all in right now because it goes back to its all-time high. What do you make? A 12x. Nice. But what if the altcoin market does fall 50%, right? And you can pick up Cardano at this level right here, and it goes back to its all-time high. You make a 27x. That can make a huge difference in your portfolio. So that's also a thing. Very important to not try to time the bottom, but it is like if you really want to make the most out of crypto, then just DCAing is not really always the way. At least DCA is the way, but it depends on when you DCA. Okay, because it could be, it could make a huge difference if you DCA a sideways trend or a downtrend, right? And although the trend is not going down hard, it's still a downtrend. So that is quite interesting. And I am not here sitting like, hey, wait for this to happen, right? But this could also be this or this. It also might not happen, of course, but it won't be up like that. It's not that you completely will miss out on the accumulation phase anyway. Another thing about dollar costing in altcoins, why that has not been a good idea, I want to show you really quick. I've showed this earlier on the Patreon, and this is quite interesting. So a lot of people on Twitter, they be like, just dollar cost into altcoins, will be fine. Well, again, first argument, you do not know if that altcoin is going to survive, right? Also, on average, the altcoin market is doing okay still, right? But that's because this chart includes these great outperformers like Nakamoto Games, Hex, Injective, whatnot, right? But it's still down very hard. How come? Because there are also altcoins that are down way harder on average. If you look at an altcoin that everybody loved, right? Hex. Look how far this is down. It went even from 50 cents to like a third of a cent, right? This is absolutely like from here it was, this chart doesn't really track it, down 99.39%. 99.39. For your perspective, 99.39%. What does that mean? It would mean that Bitcoin would have gone down from the top 99.39 $430, right? That's what Hex did, like from its all-time high to the lows. Well, if Bitcoin would have done the same thing as Hex did, then something was really wrong right here, right? But like the shit altcoins can do that, right? They can take everybody's money. The thing about dollar costing, if you would have bought Bitcoin from the beginning of 2022, right, the beginning of 2022. So for your perspective, when was that? That was basically in the middle of the bear market. That was here. Here you started buying Bitcoin from $45,000 or so, mid 40. So you bought the half of the bear market you bought. You still would have been up 9%. Right? So you could say like, yeah, you don't make any gains. You accumulated half of the basically the complete bear market, and you would still be in profit. That's insane. $9,300. What if you bought Polkadot, for example? A lot of people on Twitter, Polkadot's so low right now. You should DCA. If you did that, you would now have $5,300 left. Again, why would you do that? Because people, in this case, love Polkadot and they feel like it's going up. Okay, if you love it so much, then you should check this out. Because if you ignored everybody that was telling you to DCA, if you look at Twitter, you'd see all these people talking about DCA, 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 right? All these clowns on Twitter telling you to just buy altcoins. What if you would have had ignored everybody then you can now put your $9,300 into Polkadot anyway and get 2,527 DOT compared to the 1,374 that you would have got if you were smartly and strategically dollar costing into it. It's not just DOT. Cardano down as well. Solana down as well. Dogecoin down as well. Chainlink down as well, right? A lot of altcoins down as well. A lot of people are internet computer. Let me see, down as well. Again, there are exceptions. But overall, click a few of these coins, most of them are down very hard. Therefore, dollar costing is a good strategy. But it depends what you dollar cost and when you dollar cost. DCAing into altcoins in the bear market, as it shows, has not worked out. If you would have ignored everybody that was telling you to do that, you would still have your money. And you can now buy twice a big of a bag of that altcoin that you like, with less risk that that altcoin is going to die, as we are way further into the market. So that still applies. A lot of people will tell you, well, now is the bottom. Yeah, that's what they've been saying for the last year or 2 years, and it still isn't. A lot of these altcoins, like, again, if we, for example, look at, at the same one, at Polkadot, for example, you can see that it's made a, pretty big lower low this week. It's only this week it's down 8.2% in 1 week, while Bitcoin is down 0.7%. That's what it is. And then you look at Polkadot, for example, on its Bitcoin pair. It looks even more terrible, right? It looks way worse. Also down 4.24%. But this is absolutely crashing. So if an altcoin ever looks like this, it doesn't mean that the altcoin is dead or something, right? Polkadot, for example, just has a lot of investors that feel like, okay, maybe now I should sell because it's going down and I can save what's left. But if you ever see a chart that looks like this on its Bitcoin pair, you can say to yourself like, okay, but now is the bottom, 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 but now is the bottom. By the time that you're finally right, you may have lost so much money that you have to ride half of the bull market to play even again. Yeah, that's not what I'm in crypto for. You could also say to yourself, like, hey, could be that it now finally is the bottom for the first time in 2 years, 2.5 years. The odds are very much against me, so why don't I buy Bitcoin? Because it's losing against Bitcoin. No matter what Bitcoin USD does, Polkadot is going down against Bitcoin. Okay, what does that tell me? Well, Bitcoin is safer, so, and if Polkadot is also crashing against Bitcoin, then why would I be in a risky altcoin that is, wrecking me more as well right now? Because it could go up harder than Bitcoin. That only benefits you if you have a good entry. And people will always tell you, but now is a good entry. A good entry is an accumulation phase, and an accumulation phase is sideways. There is nothing sideways about this chart. And a lot of altcoins look like this. Gala, down hard. Illuvium, down hard. Litecoin, down forever, basically. AVAX, down hard. Cardano, down hard. A lot of people be like, yeah, but these altcoins suck, fuck that. Told you, Illuvium, down hard. Vulcan Forge, down hard. Quant, holding up decent, by the way, but still down hard. Veracity, something that people are very bullish on, it holds this for now, but still against Bitcoin, it is already down 87%. And Bitcoin itself is also down 60%. Can you imagine? Matic, one of the better, stronger altcoins out there. If this is the range, yeah, doesn't look that good. And if this breaks, then we're fucked. right? Even Ethereum, the biggest altcoin out there, it's down 34% against Bitcoin ever since the bear market started. So even being in Ethereum in the bear market doesn't pay off, right? And the funny thing is the hard bear market is over. The skydive period is over. But Ethereum against Bitcoin is still crashing just as hard as here or here or here or here. So that's what I'm currently looking at. Look, I mean, guys, don't get me wrong. I'm not a bear. Well, at least I'm bearish when the market is bearish. But overall, I'm a long-term bull. And I do think that crypto can make us very rich and that the altcoin market can go up extremely hard. But what good is it if you have your average entry so high, or if you invest in an altcoin that's like not coming back, right? And again, I'm not saying try to time the bottom, but wait for the bottom range. Wait for the bottom range, right? Now there's a case to be made, for sure, that people say like, well, we had the bottom here as well, and here we made a higher low, right? Technically, it was a lower low because of this COVID wick. If you don't count that, it was a higher low, and this was the accumulation phase, right? And that's true. That's definitely true, because we see the same thing over here. We had a low, and we had a higher low right here, and that looks quite good. However, the problem is that Bitcoin still has its pre-halving crash to come, pre-halving year crash to come, like we had over here and like we had over here. That's still coming, in my opinion. Bitcoin is still going to 20K or below. That's what I think. Before the halving. That's what I think. And again, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I think that's going to happen, right? The problem is Bitcoin has room to fall with 42% to find its lows. The altcoin market, as we just saw at the beginning of the video, has like 9%. So that sucks, because we know when Bitcoin falls 10%, the altcoin market at least falls 10% as well. So altcoins have like 10% room left, 9 maybe, right? After that, it's quite of a free fall. Maybe we will find some support at 26%, but that's already quite something. So what if Bitcoin has an exceptionally good pre-halving year and does way better than every other single time so far and falls to just 20K? Let's say that happens. That's a very good outcome. 20K for altcoins, yeah, that's last support lost already, right? 20K on altcoins, 20% on altcoins is here. There's nothing there on the charts. Nothing, no support at all, right? So they can fall way harder. And that's why we could see the dominance go up because of it. Because that's also always what happens, the dominance going up. And that's why we also see altcoins going down on their Bitcoin pair, right? Because if this is the range, we are now halfway there. So if this happens, it all comes together. If this all plays out, it would perfectly align. The stars will all like, hey, we are here, holding hands. Having a little bearish sign like Big Bear, I don't know. It all makes sense. If everything is going to play out like it happened every single time before, it will all, every chart will make sense. If this time is going to be different, I'm open to that idea. I'm not saying that it can't, but I wonder, okay, like when then it's going to be different, because until the very minute it is playing out the exact same way. And also I'll be like, okay, but why? What is going to be different? What is the reason for it to be different? Right? The only thing, again, like the only thing that people say, like, yeah, a Bitcoin ETF will save us. A Bitcoin ETF will be the reason that this chart could crash so hard, right? Because people expect a bull market. A bull market is always being led by Bitcoin, not by altcoins, right? And the only reason, apart from just the cycles and everything that I showed you, if you want to put a narrative on what the bull run is going to, of what is going to make the bull run happen, it's because of a Bitcoin ETF. You say it correctly, a Bitcoin ETF, not a Solana ETF or a Hex ETF or whatever. It's a Bitcoin ETF, right? So that could cause, of course, that Bitcoin is the topic of the day again, like every bull market, right before the alt season. And then everybody is putting their money from altcoins into Bitcoin until there's absolutely no liquidity left in altcoins. So this chart goes nicely down like it does so far. Altcoins are getting completely wrecked against their Bitcoin pairs. And because you were dollar costing Bitcoin, for example, in this period, you can here, whenever this happens, nicely buy your altcoins that have survived and that have bottomed out with your Bitcoin. And in the meantime, you make money with Bitcoin. It's the safest play. It's the most rewarding play. Again, if you want to go to the altcoin shitcoin casino and you feel like, yeah, let me just YOLO into this altcoin, cool. There's a 99.9% that you will get wrecked. And if you do have luck, then you can make a lot of money. But that's another part of the crypto market. So that's my outlook. That's another view on altcoins that I have. If you look at the Bitcoin dominance without stablecoins, because the Bitcoin dominance includes stablecoins, this is without stablecoins. Yeah, don't tell me that this chart is not bullish. Like, this looks extremely like this is in a major uptrend, right? In a major uptrend. If we put the bull market support band on it, I don't know how it looks, but probably getting dragged up by it. Yeah, look, it's above the bull market support band. Every time it gets there, it bounces and it has these nice spikes to the upside, right? If you look at the altcoin market and its bull market support band, yeah, the only time, oh sorry, I have to put it on a fucking weekly, otherwise it doesn't work. Let's go back. If we put it on the weekly, look, every time it gets there, bounce up, bounce up, bounce up, right? Nice. If you look at the altcoin market on the bull market support band, well, on the bull market, it's now under the bull market support band, by the way, because it fucking sucks at the moment. TradingView, are you working with me here, or is my internet disconnected? Yeah, nice. So the altcoin market currently is way under the bull market support band. The only time it was above it, it wasn't bounce up. It was like, like it didn't do shit, right? It was the only little multiple week fake out that the altcoin market had. It is the only thing. For the rest, that there was no strength at all. So that's kind of what I'm looking at the moment. So yeah. What you want me to say? It doesn't look good for altcoins at the moment. The Bitcoin dominance is in a major uptrend right now. I can see this go on, like we broke this resistance finally, right? We are now way higher than that. I can see this go up way higher for now, which means that like that's what happens, right? If Bitcoin goes up, the dominance goes up as well. If Bitcoin goes down, the dominance might go down, but altcoins also go down on the dollar pair. So in that case, now there's not a good outcome for altcoins. People could say like, what could cause altcoins to go up right now? Well, that kind of means that the dominance has to go down very hard. But what's the narrative for that? What makes altcoins so bullish against Bitcoin right now? I don't see it. Like I said, the only thing on the horizon is a Bitcoin ETF. Well, that's not really good for altcoin specific, right? So somehow there needs to be a very good reason to get people that are not in crypto back or into the market in the first place, but specifically into altcoins. Yeah, that doesn't happen until we first had a Bitcoin run, and later these people can convert it to altcoins. That's what's happening. But to get a Bitcoin run again, then the dominance has to go up. And in order for the dominance to go up, we will see, of course, then this, because this is the reverted chart basically, going down. Therefore, it doesn't make sense to now buy altcoins, but just Bitcoin. I hope everybody can understand this. If you feel like, man, I know somebody who needs to see this, please share this, because yeah, this is the best I can give you for now, at least. So check out the Patreon down below. There's a lot more information in there, like exclusive videos, my portfolio, how I'm playing it, podcasts, etc. Have a nice day.